Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna make a brioche. We're gonna make it two ways. We're gonna make one with almond cream and the other one with chocolate. So we're starting off with the flour. I'm using two kinds of flour: yeast, sugar, salt, water, and 5 eggs. We're gonna mix everything together until we get a ball of dough. It's important to scrape down the sides of the bowl, of course, just to let everything mix. Now we're gonna start adding butter, one piece at a time. We really want the dough to absorb all the butter, so that's why we have to add one piece at a time and just keep mixing until it's very well incorporated. So it needs quite a bit of kneading, so we're gonna knead it for about 15 minutes or until you get a very smooth dough, just like so. So the dough should be elastic and very smooth, as you can see. Now we're gonna cover it with a plastic wrap and let it proof in the fridge overnight or for 6 hours, but I prefer overnight because it's just easier to manage, with the schedule and everything. Now we're gonna cut the dough we're gonna cover the one half and the other half we're gonna start working with it. We're gonna start making a brioche. So here I rolled the dough into a rectangle. Now I'm gonna fold it into 2/3 and pinch it together and put it same side down into a loaf pan and cover it and let it proof for 2 to 3 hours, and then we're gonna brush it and bake it in a preheated oven, in a 350 Fahrenheit preheated oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we're gonna let it cool before slicing it to make our Bostock, which is coming up. So for the Bostock we need to make almond cream. Now I put some almonds into the food processor. You can do it by hand too if you have almond flour. So I put almonds, sugar, butter, 1 egg, some vanilla and some flour and some cornstarch. Mix everything together and we're gonna set it aside. Now to make the syrup is very easy. We're gonna in a saucepan we're gonna put some sugar, some water, and some lemon juice, and just let it boil for about 5 minutes. And then off the heat, we're gonna add some. We're gonna flavor the syrup with some orange zest and vanilla. Now we're gonna be ready to assemble our Bostock. So now we're slicing the brioche loaf. As you see, it's very cool. I mean, it's I let it sit for a while, just makes it easy to cut. Now I'm brushing each slice with the syrup we made, and I'm adding some almond cream, about 1 tablespoon of almond cream. Just spread it like you would spread toast, and we're gonna put all the slices into and actually I'm adding some almonds for decoration. That's optional, of course. It just looks nicer. And we're gonna bake everything in a 350 preheated oven for 20 minutes or until golden brown. These are really good. They taste like almond croissant. And here's the end result. Now we're gonna be making pastry cream for the chocolate brioche. I'm trying to open the vanilla pod. You can use vanilla extract, works just as fine. So I'm gonna scrape all the seeds with the knife, and I'm gonna have some milk that I'm gonna heat over medium heat until simmer. And I'm adding actually the vanilla pod I used just to get like the maximum vanilla flavor. I have 4 egg yolks that I added, which I added vanilla to, the vanilla seeds. And in another bowl, I'm putting sugar, flour, cornstarch, and salt. Mixing everything together. And this dry mixture, we're gonna add it to the egg yolks with the vanilla. So we're gonna add it gradually until we get a paste. We don't want to add it all at the same time, just because it's gonna be very hard to mix and lumpy. It's just easier to add it gradually. And here's what it should look like. Now we're gonna get our vanilla pod out of the milk. We don't need it anymore. Now we're adding the hot milk to our egg mixture. So it's important to keep whisking while you're adding your milk, just to avoid cooking your eggs with the heat coming from the milk. And we're gonna put everything together back to the saucepan, the same one, and we're gonna be whisking it on a low heat until you get a nice thick cream like this one. So our pastry cream is ready. Now we're gonna strain it, and of course this is optional. I just don't like to have any lumps in the cream. And now we're gonna put a plastic wrap on top of we have to make sure it's touching the cream, and let it cool. Now what I'm doing with the other half of the dough, I'm rolling it out into a 10 by 5 rectangle on a floured surface. Now I'm gonna add the pastry cream and just spread it evenly on top of the dough. And I'm gonna add some chocolate. I am adding dark chocolate, but of course you can use any chocolate of your choice. So I'm just spreading it, and then folding the other half and pressing very lightly. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the dough into 10 pieces. And we're gonna put our chocolate brioche on a cookie sheet filled with parchment paper, and let them cool for 2 hours. And then we're gonna brush them again with some egg wash, and let them bake at 350 Fahrenheit preheated oven. And trust me, it's gonna be well worth it. I mean, both of them. The choice is yours, really. I mean, I like to make the chocolate brioche and the Bostock, but you can make it your own. I mean, it's such a great dough, very easy to work with, so you can make anything really with it. In this recipe, we used bread flour and all-purpose flour. Why the bread flour? Just because it gives us a very elastic dough and a very nice crumb to it. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and share.